because I'm giving spoilers away, but I'm going to put a spoiler alert in my YouTube video and on my podcast so people know I am talking about some things in here.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
Perfection. That's it. That's what I was looking for. God, I love you. So did you like the Wicked movie? I'm your host, Christi Chanelle, and this is the Love You Miss You Bye podcast. Welcome to Love You Miss You Bye. Today I have on my daughter, Hannah Marie. We're going to talk about Wicked, which we saw a few days ago. I am in green. Elphaba is my role model. That's who I want to be. And my daughter is in pink to represent Glenda. So I know that you are an avid musical lover, and as am I. My first musical that I ever saw was, I think I was like 10 or 12, and my mom and stepdad took me to see 42nd Street in New York, which is no longer running, but it was... my eyes were stars. I was just so engulfed in these beautiful dancers and, just everything I wanted to be. And I was in dancing since I was 5 years old. So dancing has always been small Christi's dream. So, of course, I love seeing musicals. Now, it doesn't have the same effect as seeing a musical in person in New York, on Broadway. Like, I don't think anything in this whole world compares to that. I never really felt like a fandom for any kind of musical that wasn't live. The only time that happened to me when I was 5 and my mom took me to see Grease in the movie theater. Obsessed. I was obsessed from the minute I saw it, and I'm still obsessed. I like Grease 1 and Grease 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I showed you Grease and you loved it. So Wicked came on to the scene recently. I've heard of Wicked, just in passing, that it was a musical on Broadway. I never knew the storyline until we saw it. And I did that on purpose. I'm like, it's coming out. I don't want to know anything about it. And I think you did something similar where, not on purpose, but you just didn't know much about it. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So us going, and then we brought Trevor, who knew absolutely nothing, to see the musical or to see the movie. I know for me, there was, I don't know, at least 3 times that I was just welling up with tears. What about you?
Yeah, I think, I don't want to spoil anything. It's just the moment with the animals in the movie. Like, every time they were on screen, I just felt like, I want to help them. I want to save them. Like, it just hurt my heart. I was like, oh, this is awful. Like, why does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think, so you definitely had highs and lows of emotion when you were watching
yeah.
it. Now,
yeah.
You've seen The Wizard of Oz, right?
Mm-hmm. That's another movie that you drilled into me on.
Yeah. Okay, so The Wizard of Oz gives you this connotation that the Wicked Witch of the West is wicked, which hence the title of the movie. But you think really that she's a bad guy. They paint her out to be this villain. And when you watch this movie, it just shows you that perception is reality in the world. It's like whatever people present to you and put in front of you and spin, like media, will paint the picture that they're wanting to present to you, because the real underneath could be quite different than what we're seeing. And also, I know this isn't your category, but I did want to make the comparison for the people that listen. For me, media is very, very similar to that, because you watch NBC News, you watch Fox News, you watch all these other news stations, and you watch the way they want to tell you the story. And it may not be exactly what the truth is, because, just in life, in social settings, you usually hear when there's an argument between two, like siblings, there's an argument. One person has one story, one person has another story, and you'll find that the story is actually somewhere in the middle. It's not really either side. They're going to paint it in the way that they saw it, which is very, very different. So I was able to make that comparison in watching this movie of the way the Wizard of Oz painted the Wicked Witch of the East and West. What was your favorite thing about it?
For one, I'm really like an aesthetically driven person. So it's like, I notice like all the little details.
Okay.
Alphaba over here, like has her hair in a braid, or I noticed the different hairstyles that she would do. Like, I didn't think, like, even though they were trying to like have her, like, everyone's like, oh, she's green. I looked at her and I was like, she looks fine. Like, she looked great. Like, she took pride in her appearance too, even if she was green.
Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Sometimes people don't realize the way they treat people. Sometimes they don't. They may say, you're beautiful even if, or you don't look bad for your age, or just simple statements that could be very, very positive to them actually affects the person they're saying it to very, very differently than what it's intended. In this scene, in most of these scenes, it's bullying. It's outright bullying, for being different, which also you can compare to the society we live in. It happens everywhere, from kindergartner to, the president, either way. But I think watching it through the eyes of Elphaba maybe soften your heart a little bit before you say things like that to people about how it really does affect them. I know for me, when somebody says, you look really good for your age should not factor into whether I look good or whether I don't look good.
I thought about this one thing that I learned. You know how there was like, they painted rooms a specific color. I forgot what the name was. It was pink. And it was like, you know what I'm talking about? I don't remember the exact name. You look at it and you don't think that you're feeling a certain way. You just think, oh, this is so nice and calming. But it's like, maybe they might have put some stuff in there to make your brain be like, why do I feel anxious? Why do I feel scared? Different meanings, different moods.
To draw out different emotions, which is absolutely planned. I mean, that's part of being as cinematic. But also, you bring up a very valid point, because that's what marketing does also. When I was building my logo and my brand for Simply Vibin', I had to look at all the different colors that I wanted to evoke in people. Even though my favorite color is red, which I actually used in that logo, I didn't know if I wanted to put red in Christi Chanelle, which I haven't done yet. And if you are a local logo maker, I'm taking applications, because I need one. But I don't know if red, it stands for power, and it stands for passion, and that to me, and that's my favorite color. But maybe I want to evoke calming, so maybe I should use a blue. And that's what different logos do out there right now. So pay attention to those colors. What are they trying to say to you through those colors? Great point. Very valid.
Also, that's why they put her as green, because everyone's like, she's green, she's a witch, So like, they have green in there in that universe. But it's weird, because it's like she's green, but then they have Emerald City, and it's like Emerald City's green. And Emerald City is like, everybody wants to go to Emerald City. It's like, ooh, look, everybody wants to go to Emerald City, but it's like, then she's over here, she's also green. And she's seen as a bad person, like, oh, you're a witch, you're bad. But then Emerald City, it's weird, because it's like, it's green too. So it's like, I guess it's not all just negative. They just like to be like, oh, you're wicked, you're green, you're different. But it's like, then everything is green. So it's like,
well, now, hold on. While we're doing this, I'm going to look something up. Green color. The color green can evoke a variety of emotions, including balance and serenity, peace and calm, growth and renewal, hope, confidence, high energy and creativity, wisdom, which is the Wizard of Oz, and experience, and spiritual awareness. The color green is also associated with joy, inner peace, independence, which would be Elphaba, money, luck, health, and envy.
What if it's money? What if the Emerald City is supposed to be like capitalism?
And you're spot on, because we're in this really toxic environment right now of trying to figure out who your neighbor is, who your family member is. And so people are looking over their shoulder in times like this. I think it's, calming down, and, which is a good thing, because we need unity and not divide. But I couldn't help making the comparisons between what's happening now with Trump. Now, I will tell you, somebody jumped into one of my comments on TikTok and says, although I didn't vote for Trump, I know that this movie had nothing to do with him because it was written in blah, 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 whatever year it was, which was well before Trump came into power. And I said, I get what you're saying, but you have to look past the fact of current and look in past. And, that's how you learn from history and all the things that happened in other countries and things like that.
Let me see what was happening. Came out 1939?
Wizard of Oz did. The Wicked didn't. It was.
No, I'm just want to make a point, like what was happening in the political world in 1939.
Yeah, 1939.
World War II.
Okay, there you go. It surprised me, Hannah, because I'm like, that's like, you got to think beyond that.
There's a point. Here. It's Germany.
And ironically, a lot of people make the comparisons between the dictatorship.
Well, it doesn't have to be one dictator. There's many throughout history. It doesn't have to zero in on one. Like, there's just multiple dictators. That's the point. Is that you can make somebody very dangerous. That's the whole point. Even if they're a fraud, even if they don't know what they're talking about, they can paint an image of power, and that's when you need to be like, ooh, why are you so powerful? Like, that's dangerous. So it's like, that's what it's painting a picture, is that he was a dictator.
People thought he had powers in The Wizard of Oz. And when they pulled the curtain back, literally, they saw a little man behind a big fake face that told everybody the laws and the rules. And he hid. He hid behind all these powerful things.
Think about it. He had power, but he didn't have power. He didn't have power. He had power, but he didn't actually have power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who gave him the power, Hannah?
Himself. And
the people.
Because they believed him blindly. And once you start to idolize somebody in your head, that's when they become powerful.
Exactly. You hear about all these cult leaders and stuff, throughout history, like the Waco and all of this stuff. And they're called false prophets. Yeah, they come out there and they say, I'm godly and I'm speaking directly to God. And this is what I'm going to give you if you follow me blindly. And, there's girls and they're like, well, he's godly, and they end up with like 30 women that they can just go, do whatever they want with. And I don't want to say it's for the weak-minded, because it's not necessarily for the weak-minded. Sometimes you're raised in that type of environment that you don't know anything else.
Go for the power. Yep.
Yeah, you don't know anything. And I'm talking about the people that follow cult leaders. They don't know any better. They're raised in an environment where that's what they've learned because their mother fell victim to it, and it's this awful pattern. But the point is, they wouldn't have this power without the people. I think that's the most important thing here. So I know people may be worried about the current environment that we're in, but we, the people, control how much power they get. And whatever we close our eyes to and turn around and keep walking away from is what will happen. Because one of the big things in history, Hannah, is you look and see how places like Germany and other places have fell victim to what happened later. And they say the very beginning stages are the most important parts, because when people go, well, it's happened, there's nothing I can do, and then they just abide by whatever they want, that's when they start to get power. So these things that are happening where these shocking things, where you're like, oh my God, Trump said, he did this or he said that, or cat ladies, single cat ladies, we're not having enough babies. There's all the different things that have been said. At first it's shocking there, and then everybody's like, it is what it is. Like with aliens, they were saying aliens are in the ocean, aliens are here, and everybody's like, yeah, and then they keep moving on, because we're now becoming numb to the things that should offend us and should bother us. And that's what they're doing on purpose, so that when they really are able to do their true agenda, it won't be shocking, and we'll be like, it's another day in the USA. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's some of the things that I've learned. But as far as Emerald City or Glenda, since you're in pink today, for Glenda, what did you feel about her role in this movie? Without giving anything away, what did you feel?
I just feel like she was brought up rich, like her family's rich. She's dressing pretty, but I feel like she's a lot smarter than she lets on, Like, you look at her and she pretends because she wants to fit in. And she doesn't want to be judged. She wants everybody to love her. I feel like if she does that in her head, maybe she thinks she'll build herself in a place in society. That's how I feel like she's a lot smarter than she lets on. Like, she's acting.
Well, my thought process if we're just doing the political comparison, and it hit me as you were talking. It honestly, just now, it hit me. I compare her to JD Vance, who is going to be our vice president of the United States, because from my understanding of the research that I've done and through articles, I see that he was groomed to be this position by the writers of Project 2025. And they were able to get in with Trump, present their boy, and now he's sitting there. Now, Glenda, and how I compare the two, Glenda was rich and she was popular and everyone loved her. And so she got on Elphaba's coattails and they rode all the way to the Emerald City. But she doesn't quite have the same powers as Elphaba, the independent, strong-willed, wants to help people person. And she's kind of weak-minded and is easily swayed. Glenda, before she turns into Glenda, and then has a choice to make. Do I want to go and fight and know the road is going to be hard? Or do I want to stay here where I can use the powers that be behind me to do what I want to do that's the easier route?
The comfortable route.
Yeah, the comfortable route. And we don't know because part 2 hasn't come out yet. But because she chooses not to go with Elphaba and stay with the Wiz and they're hugging her, the wizard, and they're hugging her and that whole thing at the end, it leads you to believe that they create what is Glenda in The Wizard of Oz. And I'm going back and forth because, like I said, I don't know. I haven't read the book yet. If those powers are truly powers or mechanical powers so that it appears, just like in real life, that she has powers when she truly doesn't.
You know, maybe not. Maybe she doesn't. Because I've noticed, here, another spoiler, that in the beginning of the movie, when she's in the little bubble, she doesn't you don't see her be like, bubble. You know what I'm saying? You don't see her
hitting
wave
the bubble. You don't see her wave her wand. Okay.
But she presses her foot down and then the bubble, like she's putting it on a button with her foot and the bubble appears. So it's like, okay. Did we ever see her do anything with her powers?
I haven't yet.
I mean, maybe in part 2, I don't know, but I'm saying for now I haven't seen anything. So she could have limited powers or nothing at all. We don't know.
Right. You know what was really cool is after the movie, we were all in the car, and first of all, my 16-year-old son loved it. Not expected. I thought he'd like it, but I didn't think he would love it. He loved it, which tells you a lot. It's for everybody that watches the movie. But what was really cool is afterwards we're in the car, and we start thinking about, well, who's this going to be, and who's that going to be in The Wizard of Oz, and how does this happen? There's a lot of Easter eggs that, the Taylor Swift theory where they're like, did you see the Easter egg over here? Do you think that connects to over here? And how does this? And so you were telling it, you were looking it up as I was driving. You were like, oh my God. Okay. So the slippers, they're silver and da 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 da. But there were things where you're like, we wanted to know who the Tin Man is and the Scarecrow is. And
you have to listen to the lyrics of the songs to figure that out.
It's in the lyrics.
If you listen to Dancing Through Life, really listen to it and look at the lyrics, you'll be able to figure out exactly who he's going to be.
Okay, so that's where you guys can go if you want to hear what happens in part 2. Now, the book, I have it on Audible. I haven't listened to it yet. It is named Wicked, and there is, I believe, 4 books in the series. I could be wrong. It could be 5. Spoiler alert, you're getting that for Christmas. Do you want
I want the actual book. I don't want the audio.
No. Of course, Hannah, you're a reader. The book Wicked, I hear it is very dark and very...
I'm gonna read. I'm gonna get into it.
Provocative at times. I mean, my daughter's 22, but I would not recommend this series for anyone that is under 18. It's because I've only listened, you guys know that listen to me, that I only listen to Audible books because I usually do it while I'm driving. I started to listen to it while I was getting ready yesterday. No, it was the day before yesterday because it was just me and Trevor that was about to get in the car. And I was like, oh, I'll just play it in the car because Trevor might be interested. And it literally was just very dirty right in the very beginning. And I'm like, I am not listening to this with my 16-year-old son. There is no freaking way.
Wow. Okay,
so I just,
cool.
I want to put that out there. So anything they say, any of the spoiler clips, they're like, yeah, be prepared because anything you can possibly think of, that, and then times that by 100. I'm like, what?
Okay. All right, I will let you know all the
The
non.
details?
I'll let you
Well,
know the
I
details that
think,
are not crazy.
yeah, and I think that when we both finished Wicked, the book, maybe even the series, we come back and we do a book review on Wicked and we talk about it. Because I think it's good. And then we can do some comparisons to how it compares to the movie and what's missing. I had told you that I was going to do the review for the Share book.
Yep.
And then Wicked happened. And
She's obsessed.
and that's how we ended up at Wicked, honestly, because it was all me saying, let's go see Wicked. It sounds like it's going to
We
be
should go to
amazing.
Barnes and Nobles and get Wicked. Like, you should just buy it so I can read it now. Who needs Christmas? Just kidding.
Uh-huh. I mean, honestly, that's cool. Yeah, it warms my heart that she is a reader, that even in the digital age and as much as we are online and on social media, my daughter would so appreciate a good book and just sit in the corner and read. And
I
think
prefer
it's
having the
amazing.
a physical. I don't like I read sometimes. I'm not saying I've never read a book on my phone. I do when I can't go out and buy the book. So I do on my phone, but it's like I still, if it came down to it, I would still prefer to actually have it and sit there and just be able to read it. There's nothing like it. It's better. I feel like it's such a better experience to be able to sit here and read it with your eyes and just because then I actually get transported into that world. I mean, I still can on my phone, but it's still better to hold the book. I can't explain it. It's better.
No, I get it. I wish I was a reader. I think I just don't have, I don't know. I can't sit there long enough. It's hard for me to even listen on Audible unless I am in the car. Like, I'm too busy. Like, give me the cliff notes. You know what I mean? Give me the cliff notes. Did you see any of the clips on TikTok that were Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. It's like all over my For You page. People are reposting everything.
Do you have an opinion on the way that they're acting in their interviews?
I feel like people are pointing out the fact that they're very emotional in every song, but it's because they've enjoyed what they've done, And there's just a lot, but I feel like Ariana, because she's been wanting this for so long, it's like an emotional thing for her. Like, oh my gosh, I finally got to be my dream role, So it's like Cynthia said she always needs to hold her hand when she's emotional, and I think that's really sweet that she just lets her, and they're there with each other in the moment. I think there's nothing better than that. I think it's cute. I love it.
I saw that too, where she was explaining, she's like, whenever Ariana gets emotional, she needs contact. She needs physical contact.
Yep.
And so they showed different clips where she would reach out her hand because it's her anxiety. She needs to feel comfort,
And in the moment as well. Yeah.
Yeah. A comfort friend. She's a comfort friend. And I find there's such sweetness in that. And for people to come online and say anything, but that is a fantastic thing to find in the world, really is just a hater of people. I can't understand how that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
if you just go
into,
so because I go into the comments because I want to see what people feel about it. Like, what's the general consensus of the audience when they're seeing it? And you will see people say that where they're like, I actually saw a video where somebody's like, are you like me? She's like, I have to say, are you like me? Do you get uncomfortable with all the crying and the emotional stuff and the hand holding? She's like, it's just icky. Like, what is going on? And I'm like, how are you feeling on the inside that this should affect you like that you need to come out and make a video about somebody else's human experience that seems to be really wonderful? I don't know. Maybe also because I know that you have a little anxiety at times. And maybe Ariana reminded me of you in those where I would want that for you. I would want you to have that. If I'm not there to give you that comfort, I would want a friend that cares about you enough to put up their hand and say, we got this. And I think there's something really beautiful about that. So it pisses me off. It's like that doesn't make you weak to have anxiety. It's a superpower to realize this is what you need to get through it. It's also a very good empowerment movie where you actually walk away thinking you can do it too if you feel the need to branch out or just not to be a sheep in the world. Like, don't be a sheep. Be powerful. Use your voice. Use your stance. Don't ever shrink into the background and feel that you have no power, because you do have power. And I would like to ask my daughter if you would send us out with a little bit of the song.
I think, just real quick, your favorite song has been Defying Gravity. You need to talk about how it makes you feel. Go on.
Okay.
Before I sing.
All right. Okay. You're right. I didn't even get into that. I felt instant emotion. Like there's a chorus part that I listen to, and it's like something happens in my soul where it makes me well up, and I'm like powerful. It just gives me that, I feel like part of me uses my voice. Like my platform is my voice about what I'm feeling. It may resonate with some, but it doesn't matter because it's my voice. And the right people will surround themselves with me, and together we can make our voices heard. And I'm the underdog. I am the underdog. It's right. I'm the underdog in podcasting. I'm the underdog in social media, but I don't care. And actually that could be a superpower in itself, because I don't need to be the top rated for people to hear me. And maybe they can think about something that's happening in their life and know that they're not alone. Then I'm a success. So I hope that's happened so far. But I have a feeling, I know this will go further. You just got to take the steps to do it. And same with my daughter. As soon as she aligns with what her calling is, which happens around this age, her superpower will be her voice. It's always good.
No pressure.
I don't have to pressure you. You're my daughter. It's there.
She's pressuring there.
Help. No, I'm not. Just like the power has always been in you, Dorothy. Click your heels together.
Oh, okay.
Click your heels together. You always had the power to go home.
So
do you, Hannah. Click your heels together and soar.
You know what we need? We need that.
I have to embarrass you.
You did a good job at it. Thank you. We need one of those cards that we had last time, because we read them last time when I was on here.
Oh, you're talking about the oracle card?
Yeah. Let's send them out with one of those.
Okay.
Do you have them?
I do.
You already know the comments. Oh, you guys are one of those.
Some would say oracle cards are witches, or it's the universe, and it's just giving you, I call them focus cards. Everybody needs to find their focus in life. And if this helps you just pick one that you should be focusing on, how is that a bad thing? I have loved ones. Our focus card, Courage. The warmth of your open heart can give comfort to all who cross your path. Courage comes from the heart. It is an inner strength guided by love, which seeks truth and justice. When you have the courage to be true to yourself, you start to feel empowered to act and live in ways true to your own soul without any illusion, Glenda. Begin to have more respect for yourself as well as for others. Beware of making harsh judgments about yourself and others. When you come from the heart, you will find that you relate better to others. Your innate gifts will be able to shine through. You are capable of leadership, achievement, and inspiring others to succeed through their own success. When you draw this card, it is a sign that your ability to cooperate and thrive in peer ventures with like-minded individuals is heightening. Be willing to do what is needed for things to run smoothly for you. Your own inner lion invites you to work with him to learn how to be valiant.
Inner lion, like the lion from Wicked and Wizard of Oz. Be courageous. He was looking for courage.
Oh my God, the cowardly lion.
Yeah, he was looking for his courage.
Okay, this was so weird and so fitting. Wow, that was good. Okay then. Look, it's just an oracle card, a focus card, but the theme is to find your courage. Sing me a little Defying Gravity, please. Sing the audience out.
It's time to try defying gravity.
Love you,
miss you, bye.
That'll work. End scene.